Let me ask you something powerful. What if the secret to slowing down aging, keeping your heart young, protecting your brain, and building strength that lasts into your 70s, 80s, even 90s, was not a pill, not a supplement, not an expensive gym machine, but a simple exercise that most people ignore every single day? We live in a world that celebrates complexity, high-intensity workouts, flashy new routines, and endless fitness fads make headlines. But the truth is, when it comes to anti-aging, science points us back to something deeply simple, deeply human, and shockingly overlooked. It's called the squat. Yes, squatting. It sounds too simple, too ordinary, maybe even too boring. But here is the truth. Squatting is the single most important anti-aging exercise almost no one pays attention to. And that's a tragedy, because squats have been shown to do what few other exercises can. They protect your heart, your brain, your blood vessels, your hormones, and your muscles, all at once. Think about it. When you squat, you're not just moving your legs, you're engaging the largest muscles in your body, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, even your core. This isn't just about strength. This is about circulation. When those big muscles contract, they squeeze blood back up toward your heart, improving blood flow, stabilizing blood pressure, and even lowering your risk of stroke and heart attack. Every squat becomes a pump for your cardiovascular system, but it doesn't stop there. Research shows that people who can perform squats well into their older years live longer, more independent lives. Why? Because squats mimic the very movements you need to survive and thrive. Sitting down, standing up, climbing stairs, bending to pick something up. If you lose the ability to squat, you lose independence. But if you keep it, you hold on to freedom. And here's something most people don't realize. Squats also improve brain health. When you squat, you release brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a natural protein that protects neurons, boosts memory, and reduces your risk of dementia. Imagine that. Every time you bend your knees and rise again, you're not just training your legs, you're training your brain to stay sharp. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I can't squat, my knees hurt, I'm too old. But here's the beauty, squats are adaptable. You don't have to drop low like an Olympic athlete. You can start with a chair squat, simply standing up and sitting down repeatedly. Or use the support of a wall. Even shallow squats engage your muscles, improve your circulation, and trigger the anti-aging benefits. I've seen seniors in their late 80s, even 90s, begin with just 5 chair squats a day. And within weeks, they reported climbing stairs more easily, walking longer distances without fatigue, and even sleeping better. Their confidence grew because suddenly their legs, their circulation, and their balance were coming back. This is why I say, squats are the anti-aging miracle hiding in plain sight. Most people ignore them, chasing fancy exercises while overlooking the one movement that trains the body to keep living fully. So here's my challenge to you. Every day, add squats to your life. Start small, maybe 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening. Over time, work your way up. Pair this with good nutrition, and your body will respond. Your heart will pump stronger, your brain will stay sharper, and your muscles will remain a shield against frailty. Aging is inevitable, but weakness is not. Independence is not, and freedom is not. The secret is already in your body, waiting to be used. The squat, the most powerful, most overlooked anti-aging exercise. Don't ignore it another day. Now let's dig even deeper into why squats are so powerful, and why ignoring them is one of the biggest mistakes you could make if you care about living a long, vibrant life. Think about the human body as an engine. Your heart is the pump, your brain is the control center, and your muscles are the gears that make everything move. Over time, if those gears rust and weaken, the pump struggles harder, and the control center loses efficiency. That's exactly what happens when we stop using our largest muscles, our legs. The legs are home to the biggest muscles in the body. When you engage them, especially through squats, something remarkable happens. Your body releases myokines. These are tiny signaling proteins that act like messengers, spreading through your bloodstream, protecting your heart, lowering inflammation, balancing blood sugar, even helping burn fat. Myokines are so powerful that researchers sometimes call them hope molecules, and you release them every single time you squat. But here at S, where it gets really exciting, squats are one of the only exercises that simultaneously build strength, balance, and coordination. That's the holy trinity of anti-aging, because weakness without balance leads to falls. Balance without strength still leaves you fragile. But when you have both strength and balance, you regain something most seniors lose: confidence. The confidence to walk into a store without worrying about tripping. The confidence to climb stairs without clutching the rail. The confidence to bend down, pick up your grandchild, and know your body will support you. I remember meeting a man in his early 70s who had stopped gardening, something he loved, because every time he crouched down, he struggled to stand back up. His knees ached, his thighs shook, and he told me, "I feel like my body is betraying me." But we started small, just 5 chair squats each morning. Within a few weeks, he felt stronger. Within a few months, he was not only back in his garden, but he told me something even more powerful. "Doctor, I don't just feel younger. I feel like I've taken my independence back." That's what squats do. They don't just build muscle. They rebuild your life. And let's not forget the hidden benefit: metabolism. As we age, our metabolism slows down. That's one reason seniors often gain fat while losing muscle, a dangerous combination called sarcopenic obesity. But here is the secret. Squats activate so much muscle mass that they fire up your metabolism for hours after you were done. You burn more calories while sitting, reading, even while sleeping. It's like turning your body into a fat-burning, muscle-protecting machine. But here's something almost no one talks about. Squats can even lower blood pressure naturally. When you squat, your muscles act like a second heart, pushing blood back to the upper body. Over time, this improves vascular flexibility, making blood vessels more elastic. And elastic blood vessels mean lower pressure, smoother circulation, and less stress on your heart. Imagine, something as simple as standing up and sitting down could literally protect you from one of the biggest killers worldwide: hypertension. Now, some of you may still feel hesitant. You're thinking, "But my knees, my joints, won't squats make them worse?" The truth is the opposite. When done correctly, squats actually nourish your joints. They bring synovial fluid into the knee, which acts like a natural lubricant. They strengthen the muscles that stabilize the knee, reducing stress on the joint itself. The pain that keeps you from squatting often fades once you start. The key is proper form and starting slowly. And don't underestimate the mental benefits. A fascinating study showed that people who could perform a simple sit-to-stand test without support, basically a squat, had a significantly higher chance of living longer. Why? Because that movement reflects not just strength, but overall vitality, coordination, and resilience. It's a predictor of survival itself. So let me ask you this: would you ignore an exercise that strengthens your muscles, protects your heart, sharpens your brain, lowers blood pressure, improves balance, and even extends your lifespan, all in one move? Of course not. And yet, 99% of people overlook squats. This is why I call it the single greatest anti-aging exercise. Here's the beautiful truth about squats. They meet you exactly where you are. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need youth on your side. You need only your body, your breath, and a willingness to begin. So let's walk through a simple, senior-friendly squat routine that anyone can start today. The first is the chair squat. This is the safest and most effective way to build confidence. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the ground. Place your arms either across your chest or lightly on the armrests for support. Slowly lean forward and rise to standing. Then, gently lower yourself back down. That's one chair squat. Aim for 5 repetitions. Over time, work up to 10, then 15. What's happening here is profound. With each repetition, your thighs, glutes, and core are awakening. Your circulation improves. Your balance steadies. You're not just standing up and sitting down, you're rehearsing for independence. Next is the wall squat. Stand with your back against a wall, feet about 2 feet forward, hip width apart. Slide down the wall slowly, as if sitting into an invisible chair. Hold for a few seconds, then push yourself back up. Even if you only descend a few inches, You re-engaging those deep leg muscles and signaling to your brain, we're rebuilding strength again. This move is especially powerful for people who worry about falling because the wall provides full support. For those who feel stronger, try the assisted free squat. Hold onto a countertop, the back of a sturdy chair, or even a railing. Slowly bend your knees and lower your body, keeping your back straight and chest lifted. Then press through your heels to rise again. This not only strengthens your legs, but also trains your grip and your upper body. Grip strength, by the way, is another powerful predictor of longevity. Now here is something fascinating. Studies show that even just 2 sessions of squats per week can significantly improve lower body strength, balance, and walking speed in seniors over 70. And walking speed, believe it or not, is one of the most reliable indicators of life expectancy. People who walk faster live longer. And what powers your walking speed? Strong legs. Squats, in other words, aren't just about exercise. They are about rewriting your future. But let's zoom out for a moment. This isn't just about the mechanics of movement. It's about what squats represent. They represent resilience. They represent self-sufficiency. Every time you rise up from that chair, you are symbolically rising against frailty, against decline, against the stereotype that aging means slowing down. You're standing tall, literally and figuratively. I want you to picture something right now. Imagine yourself 5 years from today. You walk into your kitchen, you bend down to pick something up, and you rise without hesitation. You stroll through a park with your grandchildren, keeping pace effortlessly. You step up onto a bus without holding the rail because your legs feel strong beneath you. That future is not a fantasy. That future begins with the choice you make today to squat and to keep squatting. And here's the secret. The more you squat, the more your body rewards you. You'll notice your balance improving when you're brushing your teeth. You'll notice your stamina lasting longer during walks. You'll notice your sleep improving because your body feels more worked, more satisfied. Exercise doesn't just change muscles, it changes chemistry. It changes the way your brain and body talk to each other. This is why I tell every senior I work with, do not underestimate the power of squats. They are the foundation. They are the exercise that unlocks independence. They are the anti-aging miracle hiding in plain sight. Let me share with you the story of Maria. She's 76 years old, a retired school teacher, and for years she struggled with the very problem so many seniors face, weak legs. She told me she dreaded walking up the stairs to her bedroom. She'd pause halfway, clutch the railing, and her heart would pound. She started avoiding outings with her friends because she worried about slowing them down. And she admitted something heartbreaking. She felt like her world was shrinking. Maria's daughter encouraged her to try something simple, just a few chair squats a day. At first, Maria laughed. "How could sitting down and standing up help me?" she asked. But she trusted her daughter, so she started. Day 1, she could barely do 3. Her thighs burned. She felt embarrassed by how hard it was, but she didn't stop. The next week, she was up to 5. By the 3rd week, 10. And then, something clicked. She noticed she was climbing the stairs without stopping. She noticed her knees hurt less. She noticed her confidence returning. 6 months later, she walked into my office with a smile, saying, "Doctor, I went dancing again for the first time in years." This is what squats can do. They don't just restore muscle, they restore joy. Then there's James, an 82-year-old grandfather. He loved playing with his grandkids, but he found himself sitting in a chair, watching instead of joining in. His legs felt too weak. He worried about falling. And so, slowly, he withdrew. One day, his granddaughter climbed into his lap and asked, "Grandpa, why don't you play tag with us anymore?" That question broke his heart, but it also lit a fire. He decided to rebuild. We began with assisted squats, just holding onto the back of a sturdy chair. He was shaky at first, but week after week he grew steadier. Within 3 months, James wasn't just doing squats. He was walking faster, standing taller, and one afternoon he actually ran, across the yard with his grandkids. Later, he told me with tears in his eyes, "I thought I had lost that part of my life forever. Squats gave it back." Stories like Maria's and James's aren't rare. They're happening every day. Because the truth is, our bodies are far more resilient than we realize. Muscles respond at any age. Even into the 80s and 90s, you can rebuild strength. You can wake up those dormant fibers. You can tell your body, we're not done yet. And this is where the science becomes inspiring. Researchers have shown that seniors who engage in regular lower body strength training, especially squats, experience not only greater muscle mass, but also sharper cognition. One study found that seniors who practiced squats and leg-strengthening exercises had larger hippocampal volumes, the area of the brain tied to memory. In plain language, stronger legs equal a stronger brain. Think about that connection. By working on the very muscles that let you sit, stand, and move, you're protecting the very organ that holds your memories, your identity, your sense of self. That's not just exercise. That's preservation of who you are. And yet, despite all this science, all these stories, most people still ignore squats. They overlook them because they seem too simple. But in the simplicity lies the power. It's the daily, ordinary movements, standing, sitting, bending, that decide whether you remain independent or become dependent. Squats train those exact movements, keeping you independent longer. So here is what I want you to take away. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to squat like an athlete. You just need to begin. Begin where you are, begin today. And here's where the beauty of this anti-aging exercise really shines. It's not about chasing youth or pretending we're 30 again. It's about building a body that can carry us with dignity, with independence, and with joy into the years ahead. This one exercise that most people overlook doesn't just add years to your life. It adds life to your years. Because what good are extra years if you can't move freely, if you can't enjoy your morning walk, if you can't bend down to hug your grandchild or climb the stairs without stopping to catch your breath? When you make this exercise part of your daily routine, you're not just working your body, you're training your cells to resist aging. You're teaching your mitochondria, the little engines inside your muscles, to burn fuel more efficiently. You're signaling your brain to keep firing new connections, sharpening memory and protecting against decline. You're nourishing your blood vessels, your heart, your bones, and even your skin, all from something so simple that you can begin right now. And remember, aging is not the enemy. Aging is the privilege of being alive. But how we age, that is in our hands. Most people ignore this exercise because it looks too easy, too basic, too ordinary. But the truth is, it is extraordinary in its impact. It is the quiet superpower of movement. It is the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth, not hidden in some exotic pill or secret supplement, but waiting in your own body, ready to be unlocked. So, my challenge to you is simple. Don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it as too small to matter. Start today. Start gently. Start with joy. Let this overlooked exercise become your daily ritual, your gift to your future self. Because every step, every repetition, every movement is a message to your body that says, I am not done, I am still here, I am still strong. And that, my friends, is how you turn back the clock. Not with gimmicks, not with shortcuts, but with the most natural, powerful, and overlooked anti-aging exercise in the world.